Why would anyone pay $50,000 for a device that does exactly the same thing as a $5 watch? In fact, your smartphone keeps better time than a mechanical watch ever could. Yet somehow, the world's wealthiest people wait for years just for the chance to buy a Rolex. Why? Because Rolex isn't selling time, they're selling status. And the story behind this $10 billion empire begins with a penniless orphan who changed luxury forever. Hans Wilsdorf lost both of his parents by the age of 12. No money, no family, but he had a vision to build a watch that didn't just tell time, it commanded power. This is the story of how one orphan engineered the ultimate illusion, fooled the global elite, and transformed the simple wristwatch into the world's most powerful status symbol. In 1927, Hans Wilsdorf made a move that nobody saw coming. He didn't spend millions on advertising. Instead, he strapped his new waterproof watch, the Rolex Oyster, around the neck of a swimmer, crossing the freezing English Channel. She spent more than 10 hours battling freezing water. When she finally emerged, the watch was still ticking. Overnight, Rolex stopped being just another watch. It became an engineering legend. But Wilsdorf wasn't finished. During World War II, British Royal Air Force pilots rejected their standard military watches and spent their own money on Rolexes. Because 30,000 feet above the ground, in the middle of a dogfight, every second mattered. And Rolex had earned their trust. When many of those pilots were captured, German officers confiscated their watches. Wilsdorf's response became legendary. He mailed replacement Rolexes directly to the prisoners with a simple message: "Pay me when you win the war." It wasn't charity, it was genius. When the war ended, thousands of heroes returned home, wearing Rolex on their wrists. From that moment forward, Rolex wasn't just respected, it became the symbol of courage, victory, and prestige. Fast forward to today, Rolex produces more than 1 million watches every year. Yet, walk into an authorized dealer with $100,000 in cash, and there's a good chance they'll refuse to sell you one. Instead, they'll put you on a waiting list that can last years. That's not an accident, it's not a manufacturing problem. It's psychology, a strategy known as artificial scarcity. Rolex intentionally limits supply because the harder something is to obtain, the more valuable it becomes in the human mind. But here's the twist almost nobody talks about. Rolex isn't owned by shareholders, it isn't run like a normal corporation. The entire company is owned by the Hans Wilsdorf Foundation, a charitable foundation that controls 100% of the Rolex empire. Because of this structure, Rolex operates very differently from most global corporations. Much of its profits stay within the organization, allowing the company to keep expanding, while revealing remarkably little about its finances to the public. Rolex didn't just build watches, it built desire. A machine that manufactures scarcity, creates obsession, and convinces even the richest people on earth to beg for the privilege of spending their own money. When you wear a Rolex, you're not paying for steel, you're not paying for gold, you're sending a message. A message that says, I've made it, I've won, I've arrived. Hans Wilsdorf didn't simply build a watch company, he decoded human psychology. He understood that people rarely chase utility, they chase exclusivity. And in a world obsessed with appearing successful, perception often becomes more valuable than reality itself. Rolex turned a simple tool into one of the most powerful status symbols in human history. And if you want to uncover the hidden strategies behind the world's biggest business empires, subscribe. This is the Apex Magnate. Until next time.